This is Flute Mastery Lesson number 9, Styles of Play and Musical Inspiration. In this lesson, we'll look at how to play in the staccato, legato, and rubato styles, as well as some sources for inspiration. So one of the playing styles that we can talk about is called staccato. Staccato is an Italian word. It just means detached. So you can play in that style, and then you're going to make each one of your notes just separate from its neighbors. Okay, and you can use the ta breath or the ka or the ha breath. Ta and ka will give you a little more punctuation, which fits in with the staccato style. So another style we can use with an Italian name is called legato. And legato means connected. It means flowing. And so really there's no separation. So it's really in contrast to staccato. So in legato style, you're going to connect your notes. The last style we're going to talk about is called rubato. And rubato means free flowing. And really what that means is that the tempo is flexible. Tempo could be generally medium or slow or fast, but there's going to be sections or phrases where you take liberties and you can stretch that time out or you can compact it. So for example, if the tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4, so rubato is really all about phrasing. If it feels like you need to take a little more time with part of the phrase, take a little more time. And just play in a way that feels organic, that feels natural, and that reflects your personal expression of whatever the music is that you're playing. Okay, so where do we find inspiration? Should we be playing music that we've memorized? Should we be thinking about something in particular when we're playing? Should we be just playing whatever pops into our imagination, whatever feels right? And the answer is Yes, you can do all of those things. If you're not sure what to play, here's a really cool way you can start. And we call this referential music making, where we refer to something outside of ourselves. And that could be an idea or a concept or a thing. It could be, for example, a natural landscape. Maybe you go up to a place where you can see mountains and you play the shape of the mountains, where the low points are the low notes and the peaks are the high notes. You could start there. You could use a picture or a painting. I have a tapestry of an elephant hanging in my living room. And so let's say I want to use that as inspiration for a melody. Well, I know that the trunk starts up. He's got his trunk up. It's going to start up high. It's going to dip down and dip back up to his head. And then it's going to follow his head down to his body. There's going to be a little melody there, and then fall off where his tail is back to a low note. So that might sound like this. And that was an elephant melody. So the point is, you can use anything visual in your environment, something as a source for inspiration. Another place we can find inspiration is in our natural surroundings. There are so many sounds in nature, and when we think about the flute, of course, one of the first categories of animals that comes to mind is birds. Lots of bird sounds. That last one I was playing was my attempt at the mourning dove, but there are lots of really common sounds. All over the world, there's going to be unique sounds in your particular area. One of the ones that's very easy to play on the flute is the cuckoo. You could start there and then find inspiration. There's lots of birds that are actually called trillers, and we already learned how to do the trill. So there's birds that make that sound, all sorts of different bird sounds. So when you go out, you're outside, listen for some of the sounds in your environment. And it doesn't have to be birds. We also talked about the bark earlier. All sorts of different sounds. Maybe you can come up with some sounds that are just more like sound effects. It doesn't have to be something traditionally played on the flute in a formal sense, but you can use nature for your inspiration, all sorts of sounds. Even think about whale sounds, dolphin sounds. We've got creatures that swim, creatures that walk, that crawl, that slither, and that fly. And those can all be a source of inspiration for you. Thanks again for joining me in this program. If you'd like to get in touch with me or you'd like more inspiration or information online, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, all at Kalani Music. And you can find more resources for other instruments at kalanimusic.com. Wishing you happy and joyous music making for all of your days and years to come. I'm Kalani. Namaste and aloha.